Hey friends, it's Awkwardly Random with Cinthia and Michelle, where we talk about random topics.
Anything and everything awkward is on the table, so let's dive right in.
Hey y'all.
Hi. Welcome back.
Yay, welcome back to another episode of Awkwardly Random.
With Cinthia and Michelle. We're
That's
back.
right. We are back, and Michelle and I are actually in the same time zone this time.
Yep, we are.
You're back in the Midwest.
Back in the Midwest, back in
Back.
Wisco, back in Wisconsin, back in cheese and beer states. Yep, I'm back for a short time.
Yeah, you're staying with family for the holidays?
Mm-hmm.
That sounds fun. Welcome back, y'all. We're gonna do a holiday edition of Awkwardly Random today. Michelle and I grew up celebrating Christmas, but we do know that not everybody celebrates Christmas. We do understand that, and we do understand that this time could be hard for many people. We just wanted to share.
Feel that.
Yeah, and it's yeah. You can still celebrate it, and it can still be a hard thing. You know, it could be triggering. It could bring up all these feelings for certain reasons. So we definitely
and it could be both.
That.
Yeah, and it definitely could be both. At least for me, I feel that.
Yeah. But today we just wanted to talk about what did Christmas look like for us? Has it changed over the years? It's changed for me. And probably for you too, Michelle. We talked about this a little bit before we started recording. And then Christmas on a budget, y'all. This year, for me personally, financially, man, it has been a hard year. This year and last year. So, same. And Christmas is a lot of people place a lot of value in gifting and giving gifts to people. So we're gonna talk about that. But first, we got to get to our awkwardly random question of the day.
Yeah, so, awkwardly random.
I wanted to ask you this, Michelle, because you and I already saw the new Spider-Man movie. I just saw it today, but you saw it a few days ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
What day?
On Thursday. I saw it on Thursday.
Oh, Thursday. Okay.
Yeah.
I loved it, but I wanted to ask you, what is your favorite Marvel movie? Which is a big question.
It's a big question. There's so many questions, so many movies in the Marvel cinema.
A lot.
I feel like it's Marvel, the Avengers Endgame.
Okay. That's a good one.
Yeah, I just feel like, I think it's because it incorporates most of the superheroes. And it's just something I can rewatch. That one, or like Black Panther. I love rewatching Black Panther.
Black Panther.
And then it's tied with the new Spider-Man movie that I just saw. That one was really good too. So I think it's between, I think I just like them because they're entertaining. They tell very good stories, like story development. And I like how each of them use different characters and like work up their stories. But yeah, what about you?
Yes, those are all great ones that you listed. I would say the new Spider-Man that I just saw today, Spider-Man No Way Home, is one of my tops. That was fantastic.
Yeah.
I did really, I know.
I bet you went.
I did. Yo, people were clapping in the movie theaters in certain parts. You probably know which ones I'm talking about. I'm not going to spoil it because it's a new movie. So in case anybody wants to watch it, no spoilers here today. But I really liked Infinity War, Michelle. I know you said you like Endgame. I like Endgame both, too. And I really liked Infinity War because it really, they lost, essentially. Like, they lost at the end of the movie. And usually the heroes win or they come out of it somehow. But this one that ended with a loss, and that, like, really hit. And I thought that was, like, a pretty good message. Well, a meaningful message to give, because you're not going to win all the time, and you're going to lose people in your life, and you're going to face defeat. And so it was just interesting to see a movie that ended in defeat. You know, I mean, obviously they came back at Endgame, but like just the movie in that kind of defeat was, I haven't seen that in a movie, at least in a long time. So I thought that was great. And I love all the characters coming together and all their stories mixing, and I don't know. I really like the Marvel universe, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But to pick one actual favorite, I don't know. That's kind of hard.
It's hard. It's so hard. But yes, great movie choices too. I agree with.
Yeah,
what
and
you
Black
said.
Panther, of course, is a good one.
Yeah, yeah.
I recommend y'all watch the new Spider-Man movie. It's great.
Yeah, maybe we can do a review on it or something. It's
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah. We'll give it
Yeah.
some time for people to watch it.
Yeah, we'll give it a month or
Yeah.
something.
We could do like a
Okay.
review. Okay, y'all. Let's talk about the holidays. Christmas in
Navidad.
particular. Michelle, you grew up celebrating Christmas, correct?
Yes, but I just want, before we go into like celebrating, like what do you see as Christmas? Or like what did you grow up viewing Christmas as? Because I feel like, I don't know, I think it's good to talk about it. Some people have a religious perspective, some people have a like community gathering perspective. Like how do you see Christmas, or how did you see it? Did it change? And then we can go into like celebrating Christmas.
I had a religious perspective to an extent, because I grew up we did go to church on the 24th. Usually we always celebrate on the 24th. But mainly it was more of being with family. Mainly that was my experience of being with extended family, like all the primos, all the tios, everybody would come together. And we would have like a giant potluck. So people would bring pozole, tamales, arroz, frijoles, tacos,
That's
whatever.
awesome.
We bring like all sorts of food.
Yeah, buffet style.
It was so good, man. So good.
Yeah. Ooh,
We'd have desserts. We would pray the ¿cómo se dice en inglés? El rosario, the rosary. Rosary. We would do the rosary
on the 24th.
On the 24th at night.
Dang.
Yeah,
that's cool.
So we always celebrated on the 24th, and then at midnight we would yell "Merry Christmas," almost like a New Year's thing. We would wait till midnight and yell like "Merry Christmas" or whatever, and then then we would sing. Is that the posada, Michelle, where you sing back and forth? Yeah. Okay.
You did that at midnight?
Yeah, we did that like close. Yeah, we did that around that time. And then we would
like a full-on event.
It was a full thing. It was a full thing. And then we would exchange gifts. We would do like a Secret Santa.
Cool.
So that's
so you would like
the year.
Put in names in a bag, and then everyone would get a name.
Yeah, everybody would get a name. That was
even if you were a child, right?
Yeah, so they would do like intercambio, like an exchange between all the kids, and then they would do a Secret Santa amongst the adults.
Wow, that's very well organized.
And it was decided like a few weeks in advance, so you'd had time to buy the gift. And sometimes they put on limits, like no more than $30, no more than 25, whatever.
Yeah. So you grew up doing this for how long?
Basically every year until I don't know, 2-3 years ago, maybe.
That sounds fun, bro.
So every year without fail, we would have a full-on family gathering party thing on the 24th. The 25th, it was more of being with the immediate family, doing your own thing. But it was the 24th was like the day to be with all the Covarrubias. So
wow, cool. That sounds a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was fun. It definitely changed. We don't really do that anymore, so it's different, but I still see it as being with your loved ones mainly over everything else. That's kind of how I see it. But tell me about your upbringing, Mish. How was that for you?
Upbringing. I don't know if we didn't have anything like really planned. The only thing that we actually really did, because December is a big month, because it's my grandma's birthday in December. It's my aunt's birthday in December. And then the week after is Christmas. So throughout the entire week, like that week leading up to Christmas, we just saw family like that weekend because of my grandma, then the other weekend because of Christmas. So it was more like a get together. And it wasn't, it was more, again, more of a religious aspect.
Sure.
We grew up Catholic. We went to church every freaking Sunday since I was like really little, all the way to like I left to college, like every single Sunday. And I don't know, towards the end, but towards the beginning of my childhood and growing up, we would go to church on the 24th, I remember, and then we eventually stopped going once we got a little bit older. Like, I can't remember when exactly, but we didn't really, it was just more like a get together. Like, let's just be together as family. And it was just like, let's hang out as family. People, like, we would usually do it at my mom's house or at this house that I'm at, because it's the space that we would fit in the most people, and it wasn't even that many people, and we would just get together, and people would bring different food, but it wasn't that many of us, so we really didn't require that much food.
Okay.
And then we just danced, and sometimes we would do like the posadas, but usually we would do that in church, so we wouldn't do it at home. And then gift giving wasn't a really big thing in our family. Like, sometimes we would give Christmas gifts to like our extended family, sometimes we didn't. And then usually it's like with immediate family, like gift giving just wasn't really a big thing with us. But we would just get like maybe one, or like if Santa would come when we were younger, like my mom would, when I just remember when we were little, my mom made us write like letters to Santa Claus. And I remember when I came home recently, she was telling me about she remembers what I put in one of my cards one year, that I said, what did I say? She was like, "Dear Santa Claus, I know I'm still working on being nicer to my sisters, but I've been doing really good in school. So I really want this for Christmas." And then I would write down what I wanted for Christmas. And I just remember my mom making us do that. And then for me, it was just more like getting together with family, and then just hanging out and dancing and eating, and pretty much it.
Cool.
I feel like it's just like a regular old, like, because it's the same people we hang out like whenever we have like parties, like birthday parties, or like any other like small family thing. Like, they're just the regular people that show up. But now it's a little bit different with COVID, and people getting married, having kids, and like moving away. So it's a lot smaller now, but it's still like we still get together, we still just chill and just talk about life, talk about different topics. Politics always comes up, so it's really weird. It doesn't really feel like Christmas like how we used to when you were younger. I don't know if you feel that. Do you feel that? Like,
different now.
Like, if like when I think about Christmas, I think the nostalgia. Oh my gosh, it's Christmas when I was really young. Like, there's like this sense of like, I wouldn't say magic, but there was this illusion of like this thing, that's associated with Christmas. Yeah, I don't know. It's cool. I love hanging out with my family, chilling.
Yeah, I don't know when that shift happened mentally, because I would almost describe it as magic, Michelle. Like, it was this like really wonderful time of the year, and we were on winter break from school, and we got to be with family, and I got to be with all my cousins, and then Santa would come and we would get gifts. Like, it was all these things that I was really excited for. And I mean, I'm still excited for Christmas because it's a time to be with family, but that's kind of how I see it now, versus like all the like extra things. I don't really, to me, I don't place as much value onto that as I did when I was a kid. And there was some shift there. I don't know when that happened, but as I grew older, I was like, oh, I'm just excited to be back home again. I think especially since I moved away, just being at home like a longer period of time versus just for a weekend. I think that's also something that I value now more than I did before, because now not as home as often. But it's interesting because as a kid I really saw it as this like big magical thing. And Santa would come to our parties. Santa would show up and bring us.
Awesome. I felt like some years for me it felt like magic, but then at an early age I knew that Santa didn't exist. You know what I mean? So I kind of got like, that like it wasn't super like magical. It was more just like, oh, like let's spend time with family, and that was like the most important thing.
Yeah.
So it's like weird to think about like how I grew up with Christmas, because it was mostly family and faith based. You know what I mean? And it's
Yeah.
still like I still haven't been to church because of COVID and stuff like that. And I don't know how it would be going back, but
Yeah, I was gonna ask you if
granted,
that has changed, Michelle. You said that you would go to church almost every Sunday, and then that kind of stopped, and then, but
that stopped.
like,
How would it go?
yeah, well, there you go. But
Yeah.
did you see it more religiously when you were younger, and now is it more community, more being family? Is it kind of a mix of both? Has that changed
It's
at
still
all?
the same. I think it's still the
Okay.
same for
Yeah.
me. Well, at least, okay. So we were altar girls. We were very involved in the church, and we loved Christmas because that's when like all the celebrations happened in church in terms of like Las Posadas and
Right.
like so for people who don't know, Las Posadas are like people kind of portray what like Mary
Yeah.
and Juan, what was his name, Juan or Jose? I can't remember. Jose, when she was pregnant and they were trying to figure out a place where they can stay so she can give birth to Jesus. So
Mhm.
that's basically playing out that night. And you do typically what churches do or what posadas do is they do it with like children. And so they replay that story for everybody. And they have these like songs in Spanish. Well, these Mexican Catholics
We
do.
would sing the songs.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And they're all the same. Like you can look them up and Google them.
Yeah.
And we would do that in church. So I grew up doing that, and I grew up um, loving that because it was a lot of community. And I just felt like, oh, like these, even though people, they weren't really my family, but like we spent a lot of time
Yeah.
together just doing that. So that was pretty cool. And then went to college, stopped going to church, and was like, what is religion? What is God? What is all of these things? And for a long time, like I just stopped doing all of that stuff and just like learning about different things. And now that I'm getting older, like I look at religion in a different way. Like I not so much as respecting, not I don't want to say that, not so much as like following the institution of Catholic,
Right.
like the Catholic Church, which I disagree on certain things.
Yeah.
But I really still like the spiritual aspect of it, like the communal healing and the spirituality aspect of it. So I really find home in that, and always found home in prayer in Spanish because I used to do that with my grandma, and we would do that all the time.
Mhm.
So in short, um I guess now the way that I view Christmas is still in the same way that I view it when I was younger, because that's what connects me to this time of year. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it doesn't
Yeah.
necessarily mean that I'm a strict Catholic, that I go to church every Sunday, which I don't, but I still like certain aspects of Christmas while also being critical of, the church and stuff like that. But, I'm still trying to figure it out. But for me, it's mostly just spending time with my family.
That was so beautiful, Mish.
What about you? I know. I'm just like,
That was deep.
complicated. It's complicated.
Yeah, no, I mean that genuinely because I feel the same way. I didn't grow up going to church every week, but we did go way more often than I do now. Like I don't really go to church anymore, honestly, to be completely real. But I still identify as a Catholic, and I still have faith, and I still believe in a higher power. I like that spirituality and the healing of it all and the community of it all. But I feel like I've learned, and I used to think, oh my gosh, am I not doing this right? Because I wasn't going to church, or there are certain things I didn't really agree with, and I still don't. And I'm like, wait, is something wrong with me? Like, why am I, something's off here that I'm not connecting to the church. But over the years, yeah, I mean, I've learned that you don't have to be so involved with the institutional part of it to have that faith and that connection and that spirituality in you. I don't really
Yeah.
that piece of it to have
Hmm.
a relationship with God. It's so I still see it. I still have a religious view of it too, but the main thing is just like being with my family, honestly, and being with community and just being with people that are special to me. I don't know. That's just kind of how I see it.
Yeah, definitely agree with that.
The gift giving
I
used to
feel
be
that.
big, but not so much anymore. It's not,
Hmm.
I don't really place value on that anymore.
Yeah,
So let's talk about gift giving, Michelle.
yeah, yeah.
Oh
What
man.
about it? Don't
What
ask me. I don't
about
have any money. I'm just kidding.
it? I know it's hard. Like, so I also feel like here in this country, like we place so much value on gift giving, and you see it everywhere. Sales
Hmm.
and Black Friday and
Yeah.
all the shopping that is done. Like just today, I was out after the movies. We wanted to go out to eat, and every place was full because people were shopping and there was a lot of food places around there, so people would go for
Hmm.
like lunch or dinner or whatever, and then but there was just traffic on traffic on traffic. And I think partially it's because people are doing their holiday shopping. Everybody's out.
Yeah.
And it's like this big thing. And you always get the question of, what do you want for Christmas? What's on your Christmas list? you know
Really? Nobody asked me that.
Okay,
Except for Jesus.
it's kind of a common question, like, what do you want for Christmas? Or
Really?
what are you gonna get your brother for Christmas? What are you gonna get this person for Christmas?
Oh, I would think
No,
that's
I get those.
rude to ask. Really?
Oh, I think it's a pretty common thing.
Oh, I don't know.
Maybe that's
Yeah.
just me, right? My experience, but
Yeah.
like, oh, what are you asking Santa this year? What are you asking
Yeah.
Santa for this year? And so,
Yeah.
like, all those messages, I don't
Mhm.
know. I think it really clouded my perspective on the value of gift giving. And I used to be so excited for that when I was a kid. Honestly,
Mhm.
truly, I was like,
Mhm.
yay, that's one of my favorite parts. What am I gonna get? And it's like that's just what I grew up
Yeah.
with.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and this year, I mean, over the years, I was like, no, it's not. That's definitely not the most important part of Christmas. But
Yeah. Yeah.
this year and last year, I mean, the pandemic hit me pretty hard financially, and I'm sure a lot of people, I know a lot of people are also being hit pretty hard with the pandemic, and even before, money has been a struggle maybe. So then what do you do when you're maybe expected to get your family gifts and you don't have the financial resources to do so? That's kind of hard.
Yeah. I don't know who expects a gift though. I don't know. I feel like that's kind of, I don't know. I know you've worded it that way, but I personally don't think
Yeah.
anyone is entitled to a gift.
No, nobody.
Even during Christmas. That may be harsh. I don't know. Maybe I grew up. Like I said, like we didn't really grew up with like gift giving as a like even for like when we wrote to Santa. Like I knew at a, like I think I believed in Santa for like that I consciously believed in Santa maybe like 2 years like in middle school and then or
Mhm,
like elementary school and then I learned that like Santa wasn't real.
mhm.
Um and then like we never really got like what I actually like you kind of figure it out, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I know that it was very hard on my mom and even my mom was very real with us as when we were like children like hey like it's like I knew my mom was struggling financially so I understood like um that gift giving wasn't important. And that's why when you said like, well, oh, what do you want for Christmas? I saw that growing up as like a rude question because
Mhm.
it doesn't matter. I don't know if it matters what people want, but it's kind of like you should just be happy with what you get type of thing. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I grew up with like having that question be kind of rude.
Mhm.
Um or I don't know, maybe it's not rude. Now that I am older, like now I ask my sisters like, hey, like what do you want?
Yeah.
Even though like I'm probably not gonna get it for you, but like what would you like?
I think that's the
So
intention that people have. It's not to
yeah,
be rude. It's to genuinely ask so that they can get you something that you may want,
yeah. And then I also learned that like some people like gift giving is hard,
Yeah.
like because either like you have to ask that question like what do you want because you want to give them something that they want,
Yeah.
but that's kind of like people should that comes from the expectation that like you have to give them like this really good present or else like what you know what I mean and
Right.
that's what I mean like that's kind of like a weird question for me because I think people should be grateful for what they get not really like get whatever they want in my
Mhm.
opinion So I've had to give gifts sometimes with family. I think once we tried to do like a white elephant and it like failed because I think they're not organized and people didn't get what they wanted. And that's when I saw this when I was younger. So I learned that like gift giving is really hard. And
Yeah.
I think when it comes to gift giving, I don't think people should expect to get something that they want. I think it's just grateful to receive anything in general. That's just how I view gift giving in general, not just during Christmas. And then also, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, and if you want to like, if you don't have like enough money or like can't afford, like you can straight up just say like, hey, like money is tight, like I can't get you anything. You know what I mean? And I've had my mom say that to me certain years, and that was fine, you know. Or as sisters, we agreed that we weren't going to get in each other anything, and that we are just going to hang out and spend time with each other. And yeah, that could be another option if you don't have the financial, you know, just the money or in general or a budget to get gifts. You can do that. Or you know, you can really make things. I think making things makes things really personal and like it looks like you put more thought into it too. I don't know, those are just ideas, but in general I just think that like gift giving isn't a huge thing for me in Christmas.
Yeah, I don't even know what to add to that because I totally agree with everything, honestly. That question gets asked, I think, out of habit. I think that's just kind of like a societal thing that people ask of, what do you want? What's on your list? Let's make Christmas lists. Or, you know, this, I just recently, so my cousin who I will be visiting in Iowa for Christmas sent me a link for this thing called Draw Names, which is like an online version of Secret Santa. So you draw a name virtually and will send you the name, and then the name under the person's name, it'll tell you like it'll give you a list of things that they've selected that they would want, you know. But again, that can be tricky because what if the person puts down items that are kind of expensive or maybe out of your budget, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's a little bit tricky in that sense. And sometimes it can be hard because your family already decided that they're going to do that, you know, and then you kind of, it may be hard to say, well, I don't really, how am I going to participate in this, you know?
Yeah.
So it's tricky. Then how do you
It's
manage
hard.
situations, you know? But I think like you're right, like being straight up, like saying, hey, this year is really hard for me financially, or this time of year is really hard for me financially. I can't afford, and it should be fine. Like I don't really get why people would get mad about it. I know some people probably do.
Yep. People
But
do.
but that's not your problem, right? If you tell them, hey, I can't afford it, that's whatever, like that, it is what it is, you know. You can't,
It is what it is.
it is what it is. But I like the DIY idea. I mean, in general, I do like to give gifts. Like I do enjoy giving something to my family. Even if it's like the smallest thing. This year I chose to make candles, like make them actually like melt the wax and like do the thing, which is really cool because I just recently knew how to do that. And then we started decorating the jars.
That's cute.
So hopefully my family didn't hear this before Christmas. But anyway, so like things like you can do, right? Make things. I don't know, paint something, or I don't know. Like honestly,
there's so many ideas.
Yeah, and it's more of like the meaning behind it versus how expensive it was or the quality of it or whatever, you know, how big or small it is. It's more of like, well, this person took the time to make this for you, you know, thinking of you. And I think that's pretty special. But it also doesn't mean, you know, that that's what you should be expecting every year, because sometimes it's not feasible, and that's okay, because that's not the most important part of this holiday, at least to me, and I know clearly to you it's not either. So I don't know.
I sound like the Grinch.
Huh?
I said I sound like the Grinch.
Oh, you're so funny. The Grinch Stole Christmas. Tell me why I haven't seen that movie yet.
You've never seen the Grinch?
No, I've never seen the Grinch.
Like the cartoon version or the one that Jim Carrey?
Both.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, you need to watch it, bro.
I know.
You need to watch it, babies.
Yeah, I'll watch it. And
Yeah.
that's a good time to spend with family too, watching a movie, hanging out at home, making some I don't know, champurrado, some hot chocolate, some tea. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do whatever
Tamales.
you like to do. Eat some tamales in your pajamas. Be at home with your family. I think, to me, I have the most fun doing that. We have such a good time just watching movies at home or playing board games at home.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
But it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, like, I don't want to bash on people who do really like to give gifts and receive gifts. Like, that's up to you,
Yeah,
right?
no. I mean, do whatever you want with your money.
Yeah. That's, do your own thing. It's just something that
Yeah.
I've learned over the years of that's not what I value the most. In general, even for birthdays or whatever. It's not just Christmas, but in general, like gift giving it's kind of tricky and can get a little awkward and can get expensive and
yeah, for sure. And I think an important aspect of like gift giving is a lot of the shame that comes with it. Like, I know we're talking about like, oh, we don't prefer it, but some people might. And like, if you have little kids, like obviously like they learn about Santa, or they learn about like, oh, like my friend got this, but I got this from Santa, and like some things may be more expensive than other kids. And like, I think that's where like I just think it's important to talk about the shaming. Like, there's no bad thing about like giving gifts. If you love giving gifts, that's cool, but there's a lot of shame to it if you can't afford it. And I know a lot of people go through that too, and especially probably going through that now because of just like the rough couple of years we've been in, and people like struggling financially. I know like that's a thing. So I know not having enough to buy either like your children gifts that you want is hard, but like eventually they're gonna grow up and understand and learn. And like Bean said, like it doesn't have to be anything expensive, or you just be anything small, or I think in general just spending time as a family is so much more important if you can too. So
I like that. That's good, because there is a lot of shame and stigma around that. And
or especially like if people don't get the gifts that they want. Ooh, I've seen that in little kids. I'm like, wow.
And with adults too, Michelle, honestly.
And with adults, I've seen that too,
There's a lot. I mean, how many times, I bet you there is some statistics out there with percentages of how, like, what gifts get exchanged the most and how many people exchange their gifts, like clothes or house items. People exchange gifts all the time and return them or re-gift them. It's not to say that your gift isn't important, but like it shouldn't maybe have like the most importance. It shouldn't be highest on the scale of importance, because these are material things. I'm talking about material gifts that can be replaced, can be returned, can be exchanged, whatever. But the most important thing, at least to me, is to be with your family, or just like, even if you can't be with them on Christmas, I know that also happens where you can't make it back home, or whatever, a phone call, a FaceTime, a Zoom call, or whatever, telling them, Merry Christmas, I love you, I'm thinking of you. I don't know, like just the smallest things to show that you love them, I think are to me the most meaningful than giving a gift. But again, everybody's perception of what's meaningful and what's not, or what's more meaningful than other things, that's on an individual case by case basis. So we're not bashing on anybody who really wants to give gifts or receive gifts. This is just our
we are
our experiences.
Do whatever you want. I mean, celebrate however you want. I think it's important to talk about in general everyone's experiences. All right, that was it.
You know what I love?
Ho, 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 Merry Christmas.
You were like, do whatever you want.
Do whatever you want. We don't care. I'm just kidding. Well, honestly,
no, I love it. It's true.
I mean, I think people should do whatever they want for Christmas, whether you want to celebrate it, you don't want to celebrate it, whoever you want to celebrate it with, that's up to you. This is just your experience. This was fun.
I like learning about people's perceptions of the holidays and their experiences and what they do for Christmas or New Year's or whatever else, what other holidays they celebrate.
Yeah.
But it seems like you and I are pretty similar.
Mhm.
We both grew up Catholic. We're very family oriented. So it seems like we kind of
Mhm.
have similar views. But as a kid, yeah, I would look forward to that gift giving. I'm just gonna be straight up and own up to that. But it's changed over the
I
years.
had the sad holidays of like, yeah, that's why I was like, this is life.
It is. And honestly, like even that, like we both are, I think, have a lot of privilege in our experiences with the holidays. Not everybody gets the chance to be with family during the holidays, or, you know, for some people it can be and I'm not saying that for you or for I, it's not hard, but for a lot of people, yeah, it is a really, really hard time of the year. So,
Mhm.
you know, I just want to be mindful of that and make sure we acknowledge that.
Yeah.
Let us know what
I
y'all
think in general it's really hard during the holidays. Even
yeah.
having, I know people who struggle going to like family gatherings, and it's not easy. Even if it seems like you have support, you sometimes don't within your family, even if you do have these things. So I know it's not easy in general. So yeah, just do whatever you can to protect your peace and find some sort of joy during this time. And even if you don't like this time or don't find this a joyful time, then you know it's almost 2022 and New Year's around the corner, so you just gotta wait another week.
Well, hey, and for many people, they have this time to be off of work or off of school, so use that time to do what you want to do, even if you don't want to celebrate or whatnot. You know, this is your time off of whatever other obligations you have throughout the year. For most people, for a lot of people, obviously, maybe not, but like if you have the time off from work or school or whatever, maybe use that time to recharge, rest. I don't know, do some self-care, set some healthy boundaries.
Yeah, I'm just looking forward to 2022, man. Fast forward.
And your birthday's coming up.
Oh yeah. Another year older.
Like, you do know, right? It's coming up, right? You do know this, Michelle.
Don't at me. I forgot my birthday was in January.
You're gonna be 29. Wait, 29, right?
Yeah, 29. What do you think? I'm not 30 yet.
No, not
what
30.
The hell?
I know, I got confused. I'm like, wait,
do not behind my name yet.
We're almost to the third floor.
Third, oh yeah. Oh my gosh. I'm excited. No, actually I'm not. Can we just slow it down?
Hey,
like,
I heard
forward and I'm like, slow it down.
I heard the 30s are some of the best years.
I hope so.
I hope
so. I hope you're right, because I'm gonna come on this podcast and be like, they fucking lied to us. It is twice as hard.
We'll check back. We'll check back with y'all once we turn 30, see how we're feeling.
Yeah. Now it can't be like 20-something-year-olds when we hit 30. It's gonna be 30-something.
30-something-year-olds? Holy shit. Mish. Some 30-something-year-olds. We'll get there when we get there.
Yeah, surprise to everyone who I'm 28. I mean,
same.
Do I act my age? Maybe sometimes, whatever that means. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Happy, thriving, and surviving.
Yes, and we hope you are
mostly surviving.
We hope that for everybody.
Yes. Happy holidays. Yes. We will see you on the next one. Yeah, happy holidays. Cheers. Enjoy. Do whatever you want. Give me your money. I'll drop my Venmo. I'm just kidding.
Michelle will drop her Venmo at the bottom. Donations are appreciated.
It's been hard, man. Oh my gosh, these past couple of years are just tough.
I know. So have some sympathy and some empathy for others and for yourself, and extend grace unto yourself, and do what gives you peace. And yeah,
sending you a lot of love and a lot of hugs, and I hope you're doing okay.
Lots of positive vibes.
Bye. Bye. Thanks for joining us There's very positive take of Christmas and a very bitter one. So hopefully this will change next year.
That was
We'll
great.
see.
All right, y'all. Thank you for tuning in. We'll catch you at the next one.
All right. Bye.
Bye.